Ladies and gentlemen, today is Season 5 Reloaded, and you know what that means. We get new weapons, new characters, new modes, things along those lines, but of course, we also get patch notes. And whenever this happens, what I like to do is, as soon as they come out, put out a video for you guys going through all of the patch notes, letting you know everything that has changed within this update. It includes weapon changes, the new things, and everything in between. There's a lot to talk about here. But first, I need to tell you about today's video sponsor. This is a cool one. So today's sponsor is really cool. I actually have been wanting to share this with you guys for a while, but what it is the Hallet Mage 3D printer. And that is what you are looking at right here. This printer has a 10.3 inch LCD screen, which allows you to print things in a much bigger way. It is 32% more size efficient than other printers in its class. You can print in ridiculously nice 8K detail, and I really wanted to see what this thing could do. And the very first thing that I took this to 3D print was someone that most of you will probably recognize. That is Ghost from the Modern Warfare series. And keep in mind, I have never 3D printed anything else ever in my life, and it seemed like a big job to start with, but it was easy. I just took its file, put it into the software that they provide for you, added some platforms to it, plugged it into the 3D printer, and just started printing. Now, as I watched this thing print and the platforms were built for it, I didn't know how this was going to turn out. And when it finally got printed out, you can see all of the platforms on it, but once they were removed, I could not believe the amount of detail that this could create. Every little intricate detail to the vest that Ghost had on, to his face, and everything in between just looked absolutely amazing. And keep in mind, I had no idea what I was doing when I started this project, and with barely any work, I was able to create this absolute masterpiece. So if this is something you're interested in, you've ever wanted to look into a 3D printer, this one is incredibly easy to use and obviously works very well. So if you want to check out the Hallet Mage 3D printer, the links are down in the description. You can buy it directly off their website, but they also have Amazon links as well. If you ever thought about getting one of these bad boys, I can highly recommend this one. It is absolutely amazing, and you can make something just like I did. So check them out, and thank you to them for sponsoring the video. All right, so here we go. Here are the Wednesday, August 30th patch notes for Season 5 Reloaded. The first thing that we have is the Battle Pass is updated. They have the limited Battle Pass sector, which includes 3 of the new weapons, the pistol, the pickaxe, and the new burst action SMG, the Lockman SMG. It's a weird one, but we're also getting new operator bundles as well. The first one that we have is Mace. His description is, once a US Ranger and Jackal, now a vicious reinforcement for Shadow Company. Mace is back. So interesting that he's working with Shadow Company now. He was a fan favorite character in Modern Warfare 2019. We also have Lara Croft. This one really doesn't need any explanation. If you've never seen Tomb Raider, you kind of know what you're getting here. Anyway, and then we have 21 Savage as well. Then we have events. So this one's called the Faction Showdown Weapon Camo Challenges. We talked about this in the previous video that we had for Season 5. Basically, what you need to know is that for each of your weapons, if you're unlocking the Assault Rifle camo, you are going to have to use Assault Rifles. So for example, the Assault Rifle one is 250 operator kills with Assault Rifles, whereas the SMG one is get 100 operator headshots with SMGs. So on and so forth. You can pause the video here if you want to read through them all, but that's not all that they have within Season 5 Reloaded. They're also putting in vehicle camo challenges as well. This works across DMZ, Battle Royale, and other Call of Duty, Warzone, and Modern Warfare 2 modes. In other words, anywhere there's a vehicle, you can unlock these, and they're various different ones. And again, to get it for that specific vehicle, you need to be using that specific vehicle. So in other words, the light helo refuel your helicopter at 10 different gas stations. You have to use a helo to unlock that one, so on and so forth. So then we have our weapons. This is the sector in the Battle Pass that we were talking about. These are unlocked via the weapon challenge in the Battle Pass sector. So first one we have is the pickaxe, as we mentioned before. And then we have the 9mm Damon handgun. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but you know what I'm talking about. And then we finally have the Lockman Shroud, which is the burst action SMG that we talked about before. Now, so moving into weapon balancing here, the first thing that we're going to look at is Modern Warfare 2 only, and then we are going to get into the Warzone changes. There's a couple in here that do apply to Warzone, but not many. But what you need to know is the FTAC Siege got a buff to the close mid damage distance. The SMGs, you have just the mobile stock for the Lockman sub getting a little bit of a buff, but that's it. The PDSW has better iron sights now. The ISO 45 increased damage range. The Lockman sub reduced close damage distance, so that one's a nerf. The FR Advancer, you have increased damage range in Modern Warfare 2 only, but reduced hit spread seemingly all around, so that is a buff all around for the FR. The Tempest Razorback, you have increased damage range, so buff there. The M16 got a increased close mid damage distance, so that's a buff for that as well. The Castoff 74U reduced damage range, so that's one of the very few nerfs. The ISO Hemlock also had a reduced damage distance, so that's a nerf. Battle rifles, in the damage range for the TAC-V, Cronin Squall, SO14, and Lockman all got buffed. For the Lockwood 300, reduced mid-distance damage range, so that's a nerf, but it appears as though the slugs and HE slugs got buffed. The Bryson 890, they reduced the damage range, however, they buffed slugs for this weapon as well, and the same thing with the Bryson 800 as well. Now, this one appears to be for both Warzone and multiplayer. So the SAB50 increased ADS speed, increased ADS movement speed, so that should be all around. And then increase the damage range in Modern Warfare 2 only, so that doesn't apply to Warzone. The Lockwood MK2 increased ADS speed and increased ADS move speed. That should be all around. The SPR 208 increased long distance damage range. That's in multiplayer only. EBR 14 reduced damage range. That's a nerf in Modern Warfare 2 only. The light machine guns increased the mid distance damage range for the HCR 56. And the same thing with the RAPPH, both in Modern Warfare 2 only. Sniper rifles, these ones are a little bit confusing. The Karak 300 increased close range damage, increased upper arm location damage, and increased long distance damage. That's in Modern Warfare 2 only. However, in Warzone as well, increased ADS hip transition speed, so faster ADS, increased hip movement speed, and increased sprint speed are all around, so that includes Warzone as well. Similarly, the same thing happened all around with the FJX Imperium. The Signal 50 only in multiplayer got reduced close distance damage range. That's in Modern Warfare 2 only. And the SPX 80, same thing, reduced damage range in multiplayer only. Now, the next things that we're going to talk about are simply for Battle Royale, for Warzone, things like this. They have a description as to why they did what they did. I'm not going to go in depth with this, but I'm going to go through this as quickly as possible. So starting off with the Chimera, this got a very big buff all around, better close damage range, better far damage, more headshot damage, and a lower torso multiplier that is higher. That's a big buff all around. The FR Advancer got a buff to the damage all around. The ISO Hemlock got a nerf to the damage range all around. The Lockman 556 got most of the multipliers, including head, neck, and upper torso increase, so more damage all around when you shoot for the head. The M13, same thing. All location damage multipliers increase. The M13C got close damage increase, mid damage increase, and all location multipliers increase. So this is going to speed up the time to kill for a lot of assault rifles. The M4 close damage range increased and close mid damage range increased. So buff there as well. STB headshot damage is higher. The Tempest Razorback close damage range increase and mid damage range increased as well. So a lot of assault rifle buffs there. Moving into battle rifles, the Cronin Squall had a all around just multiplier buff, except for the limb and damage. It was decreased, but everything else more damage all around. Launchers as a whole just got a nerf. They have reduced damage against players just all around. The RPK, this is close mid damage decreased, close damage range decreased, but headshot multiplier increased. So better to the head, kind of worse at all the other ranges. The Sakin, you got a neck damage multiplier decrease, upper torso damage multiplier decrease, and limb damage multipliers decrease. In other words, a nerf all around for the Sakin. The Lockwood, all damage multipliers increase, so that's a buff for that. Shotgun, the Bryson 800, lower limb damage multipliers increase, so I guess technically a buff, and same thing with the Bryson 890. Moving into submachine guns, the Bass P. Neck damage multiplier, upper torso, lower torso, and limb damage multipliers all increase, so that is a buff. The Fennec 45 got the neck damage multiplier increase and upper torso damage multiplier increase, so in other words, a buff for that as well. The Vel 46 limb damage multiplier increase, so just a small buff there. So that's it for the weapon changes. Hopefully I got through that quickly enough for you. We also have some audio changes as well, just on specific maps, nothing too big. As we talked about before, they have the play again feature, so you can choose to play with your same team over again, but you do not keep your enemies. There's also the friend recommender, as we talked about before, it'll just recommend friends of friends to help you find more people to play with. I am not going to read through all of this, but these are a bunch of bug fixes that they changed in game. Now, moving into multiplayer, we have the new map. This one's called the DRC or Zone 1. This one looks cool. It actually kind of reminds me of like kind of Black Ops maps just because it's a little more bright and vibrant, but I like the look of it so far. We have a new mode, which is Gunfight Snipers. It is gunfight with sniper rifles. We also have 4v4 face-off. In other words, just more players on these small maps. So it should be some pretty high action. Again, we have some more bug fixes going on here. You can pause and read through them if you would like. As far as rank play goes, I am not going to go through this, but there are some reminders to complete your challenges, like your 100 wins, your ranked veteran. These things carry over to the next game, Modern Warfare 3. So they're just kind of reminding us that you can complete all of these and get these things moving forward. As far as Warzone goes, following the catastrophic events of Shadow Siege in Al Mazrah, Zai Observatory has been destroyed. In other words, that is a big map update to Warzone. Zai Observatory is blowing up. You're able to get into all the little nooks and crannies in Zai Observatory now, which is cool. I'm not going to read through this because this is a lot, but if you want to know what the playlists are going to be over the next coming weeks, you can pause it here and just read through these. Essentially, the new thing that we have is Armored Royale. We've had this before within Modern Warfare 2019. Basically, as long as your team's vehicle is alive, you can respawn. We also have Al Bagra Fortress Resurgence. This one is just Resurgence just on Al Bagra Fortress, on Al Mazrah, but just the limited area. So pretty straightforward there. There's also another one called Unhinged Solos. Basically, you can grow your squad up to 6 players so you can assimilate people playing solo. Interesting mode. Not sure how it'll work, but that's how it works. So some audio changes for parachutes, but then this is a weird one. Killing a player while performing a trick on a dirt bike will now reward combo points. I don't know how that works, but they've added in a winky face. So I've never seen that before in their patch notes. I'm curious what that's all about. Of course, they go over Warzone ranked as well. Just again, a reminder that these things carry over to the next game. We have some more bug fixes. Then we have DMZ. As far as DMZ goes, they have new Shadow Company missions. Tier 3, 4, and 5 for the Shadow Company faction are now available. There's adjustments to drop rates and UI and things like that. And then the last thing that they say is grab a secure backpack and explore the ruins of Zai Observatory if you dare. A new barter item is available at the closest buy station. So something's going on at Zai Observatory and DMZ. You probably want to check that one out. And then more bug fixes. And that is that. That is Season 5 Reloaded. Weapon changes, everything that is new. It's not the biggest season Reloaded. I kind of miss getting a raid at this point. That's one of my favorite things. But for now, this is what we have for Season 5 Reloaded. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Hopefully I can keep you filled in. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're made